So first one is Gabby did ask us a question.
So these are messages that people have sent through the
Coffee
Ko-Fi,
app.
whatever
Yeah,
app,
Coffee
through
app.
the Buy Us a Coffee
Yeah.
QR that is in the corner of the screen right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm just going to read a couple of them. So Daniel, love the work, guys. Wondering if we'll see Spicy Carls tonight. On another note, keep up the good work. Spicy Carls comes out when required.
When needed,
Yeah.
it's sort of Spicy Carls is the hero that we deserve, the hero that we need, not the hero we deserve. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I did notice just before I opened up Instagram, and like I said, I left that comment on Jackie Felgate's thing, and now there's people like, "Oh, you're the grifter from COVID."
Yes.
I'm like, guys, catch up. It was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
This is boring.
Now I'm the grifter from 2025.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you've reared your ugly head again." Yes, actually, no, I've been a thorn in the government side.
My head's been up the whole time.
Yeah, consistently. Just nice of you to pay attention.
Yeah.
I did put up before that, the petition's now going to be debated. And I'm like, I do enjoy being a thorn in this government side.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then, oh, you're a grifter.
Nice work.
Yeah, that's me. I did get a comment from Gabby. I'm just trying to find it. Here we are, view details. Okay. Please speak about the potential of the AVP party had in Australian Victorian politics during the pandemic and or potential independent parties that gained your respect and vote of confidence or missed the mark. Why? In your opinion, what makes a good party worth a shot?
AVP, Alien versus Predator?
No, Australian Values Party.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, I mean, Alien versus Predator was a pretty B-grade movie, and I didn't know that they ran for Parliament. But
This
okay.
is you who knows no movies,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you don't really get a say in that.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
Fine. Yeah, whatever.
So do you want to summarize this pretty quick? I feel like you've done lots of videos about this, but
Look, I've done a lot of videos about this. Fundamentally, there are a lot of these micro parties that need to stop running. Sorry, I'm not saying you're bad people or that your policies are bad or anything like that. But every volunteer's time that you take up, every bit of energy that you take up, every donation that you receive is being broken away from parties that have a track record of actually getting people elected. So I would suggest that it's not a case of getting them all into one party. People say, oh, why can't, One Nation and Libertarians and UAP and, why can't they all combine into one party? Not going to happen. There are genuine reasons. There are genuine ideological and policy differences that are good, that we need that debate. We need that spectrum to happen. But then behind that, we have a bunch more that have never had anyone elected. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, they never will. Some of these parties have been around for 20 years. Some of them popped up during COVID. Sorry, guys, you don't have traction. It's not going to happen. Right?
and you're kind of diluting it because the problem is like, I agree with your sentiments, but I do feel like, UAP is a really good example. This is just Clive Palmer chest beating. It's all about ego. And I'm not going to go back into it, but the whole Tucker Carlson selfie as the billboard, I was like, this is doing so much damage.
Yep. I remember the very first time he ran and he had his face up on massive yellow billboards around Melbourne. And I just thought, you've
Got no idea.
Well, you've done what you thought was a great idea that might work in your local town up in wherever it is. You've done no market research. As much as we criticise government and others for spending money on consultants and blah, 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 at least they don't turn around and do that kind of nonsense.
Clive, if you want to run again, because apparently he's threatened to do so,
Pay us to be your consultants, please.
send me a message.
Yeah.
You're a billionaire, so you can afford me. I will help you just to understand the bare minimum.
To not put your face all over the billboards. That would be a good start.
Yeah.
So coming back to the Victorian situation. Bottom line, though, is that election outcome was not determined by the fact that there were too many micro parties on the right. No, that election outcome was determined by the fact that an enormous number of Victorians are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, which should be renamed as Melbourne Syndrome. They have fallen in love with their captor. This is a much bigger problem. People say, oh, Daniel Andrews only won because of the preferential voting system. No, Daniel Andrews won.
Yeah.
Daniel Andrews won. Full stop, hands down, Daniel Andrews won.
I know there's people arguing in the comments saying he only won by 33%.
No. He absolutely kicked ass. And no matter what system you use, so every single electoral system has to grapple with this problem of do you need someone to get an absolute majority? Okay, because often that won't happen. If you have 10 people running, the chance of someone getting more than 50% of the vote is pretty slim. So how do you manage that? Well, sometimes they'll manage that through a series of what are called runoffs. I believe it's France, for example, their election is actually held over multiple different elections. So you'll have the initial group stage where then the top two will go into a runoff where you can only vote for one of those two. Right? And so the top two from the group stage go into the runoff. Well, that's essentially preferential voting. It's just they've broken it up over multiple days rather than doing it all at once. If we actually just preferenced everyone from top to bottom, then we can immediately figure out who you would have voted for between those two.
Yeah.
And we already know the answer. We don't have to get you to come back to the polls. So preferential voting is not some evil manipulation. It is one of the ways of trying to actually figure out a winner when people don't always get an outright majority. And I think it's one of the best ways to do it. And it's not what cost Victoria the election. Daniel Andrews, tyranny, like many tyrants are popular with their own supporters. And their own supporters can be a majority. This is the thing.
People still have photos of Stalin.
Yep. Tyrants can be tremendously popular with the people. You know, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're very popular with Paul.
Yeah.
If you're beating the absolute crap out of Peter in the name of helping Paul, Paul's going to vote for you.
Yeah.
And that's what Daniel Andrews did.
And politics is, unfortunately, in Australia, not that deep. People are very, very superficial with their thinking about it.
Yep.
And they, you know, like there's a lot of commentary around reneging on the compulsory vote, like stopping people from having to vote in Australia.
Yep.
And like, you know, to be honest, well, part of me agrees with that, but also that scares the shit out of me because the most politically engaged are the progressive left. I don't know if I just want Australia's progressive left voting for people all the time.
Yes and no. You know, I would, just as a matter of principle, I would support voting not being mandatory because I don't believe you should be compelled to engage. But then the reality is that our system involves enormous amounts of compulsion up and down. And so getting rid of compulsion around voting, but not getting rid of compulsion around, you know, so much of the regulation, red tape, taxation, rules that are applied to us, well, that seems like a double standard.
Yeah.
If we could get rid of compulsion from government altogether and make it a system, a voluntary system where we pay for what we use, and we
That
engage with
will
what we
never
want.
happen.
Well, we can get a lot closer to it, but
Yeah.
we'll probably never get all the way there, probably not even close, but we can certainly get a lot closer to it than what we are. So for me, as much as I agree voting should be voluntary, it's such a low order issue. I'm not going to spend energy campaigning for that at this point in time because there's just compulsion up and down the system in every single area, and changing compulsory voting is not going to fix that.
All right, next comment from Melissa. She was talking about a petition to stop the government having unrealised gains tax. So I'll bring this up. This is a federal petition.
Yeah.
And it only has 617 signatures. So for the sake of it, I'll put the link in the description below. So Australia's tax and retirement systems have long rested on clear principle taxes paid when income is earned or gains are realised. Taxing unrealised gains, capital gains breaks the foundation and undermines the trust in the rules Australians have relied on for decades. So I don't know how the federal petitions work.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say the same thing. Do they have to be sponsored by a MP the way the Victorian ones do? It doesn't look like it.
No.
It doesn't look like it has any particular name attached to it.
But it has 22 days left. So if you guys are passionate about this,
So there's some time there.
yeah, I'll pop it in the comments for you guys.
Well, thank you, Melissa, for bringing that to our attention.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Back again. You could not help yourself, could you? I get it. I am absolutely ridiculously good looking. So you should probably go and subscribe. And whilst you're there, maybe shout us a coffee. I have to put up with this guy every week, twice a week, for you and your entertainment, much to my displeasure. But alas, I do it because I am a virtuous soul and you're welcome. So please subscribe and tell other people to go watch because I need help.